The three-member SIT constituted to probe the Hathras case will likely submit its final report to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath today. All eyes will be on this probe report amid a lot of confusion over the allegations of rape that's been levelled by the victim's family. The team, accompanied by a forensic expert, was seen walking through the fields where the incident took place. The probe team also visited the site where the victim was cremated. A PFI link, meanwhile, to Hathras protests has emerged after the arrest of 4 individuals suspected to be linked to the organisation yesterday. The arrest came after Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath claimed that opposition parties were conspiring to stoke caste and communal violence in the state for political gains. The UP police investigation in the Hathras case has also unearthed a PFI link, which I just mentioned. 4 PFI members were arrested near Mathura yesterday. Cops claim that suspicious literature that could have fanned caste and communal tension was also recovered from them. The UP government is also demanding a ban now on the radical organisation. The question is, why hasn't the PFI been banned till now?
The Uttar Pradesh government is now probing the role of the radical group Popular Front of India in connection with the Hathras case. 4 people with alleged links to the PFI have been arrested for links to the Hathras conspiracy. Police claim that PFI member Masood Ahmed, who studies law at Jamia University in Delhi, is the mastermind and conspired to create caste unrest and clashes in Uttar Pradesh. Siddiq Kappan, a Delhi-based journalist working for a Malayalam news portal, is also among the 4 arrested. The 2 others are Atikur Rahman of Muzaffarnagar and Alam of Rampur. The UP police says that the 4 were taken into custody at Mathura's Math toll plaza during checking of vehicles after a tip-off. Mobile phones, laptop and some suspicious literature which could fuel unrest was seized from the group. During questioning, the 4 have admitted their links to the Popular Front of India and associate organisation Campus Front of India. With a PFI link now emerging, the UP government is demanding a ban on the organisation.
भारत सरकार से मांग करेंगे कि इस संस्था को भी जांच करके इनके लोग जो दोषी लोग हों उनके खिलाफ कठोर कार्रवाई करते हुए इस संस्था को भी आतंकी संगठन की तरह बैन किया जाना चाहिए। इसको भी डिक्लेयर किया जाना चाहिए कि पीएफआई भी हमारे देश में आतंकी संगठन है, क्योंकि उसके जो कृत्य निकल कर आ रहे हैं, जो उसके प्रमाण निकल कर आ रहे हैं, वो साफ इस तरफ संकेत कर रहे हैं कि देश में आतंकवाद फैलाने के लिए ये संस्था बनाई गई।
The Uttar Pradesh government says that the Hathras case was an international conspiracy plotted to defame the state. It has told the Supreme Court that a deliberate attempt is being made to incite caste and communal violence over Hathras.
एमनेस्टी इंटरनेशनल जैसे संगठनों के माध्यम से, विदेशी फंडिंग के माध्यम से कैसे कैसे लोग, राजनीतिक दलों के लोग, विभिन्न संगठनों के लोग किस तरीके से दंगा कराने पे उतारू थे, यह दृश्य आपने देखा होगा। पिछले 1 सप्ताह से आप देख रहे होंगे कैसे माहौल को खराब करने का प्रयास हो रहा है। ये षड्यंत्र होते रहेंगे, लेकिन हमें आगे बढ़ना है।
The Enforcement Directorate is investigating the role of Popular Front of India in the Hathras case. The sources in the agency claims that Enforcement Directorate has started investigation whether the PFI members who were inquired during the Delhi riots are involved in funding and spreading the propaganda in Hathras case. Reporting at Ground Zero in Hathras, this is Shakil Disachitosh Mishra, reporting for India Today.
And in a big twist in the Hathras case, the Uttar Pradesh police has recovered call records that suggest that the victim's family was in contact with the main accused, Sandeep. These call data records have been accessed by India Today, and they show that there were 104 calls made from the victim's brother's phone to the main accused from October 2019 to March 2020.
A sensational twist in the Hathras case. An explosive revelation that could turn the course of the investigation on its head. The Uttar Pradesh police investigation has revealed that the victim in the Hathras case was in constant touch with the main accused, Sandeep Singh. UP police analysis says that the number that the main accused, Sandeep, received calls from was registered in the name of the victim's brother. The calls began on the 13th of October 2019. There are 104 calls in total, 62 outgoing and 42 incoming. Most calls are made from and to cell phone towers located in the Chandpa region, 2 kilometers away from village Bulgari.
India Today would like to add a statutory warning to this new twist in the Hathras case. This is purely one of the elements discovered by the UP police in its line of investigation. We are not drawing any inference, and the statement of the victim remains the benchmark till the CBI can prove it otherwise in the courts of law.
While the Uttar Pradesh government has recommended a CBI probe, the state government has submitted an affidavit in the Supreme Court defending the late-night cremation. The UP government says that the funeral was performed in the presence of the victim's family members, but was done at night to prevent violence.
12-1 बजे तक चलता रहा, 2-2:30 बजे बज गए, तो वो एक ऐसा है कि अपनी लड़की को मतलब वो कर दो, चलो सब लोग, तो हमने कि हम नहीं जा रहे, तो मैंने यहाँ हमारी बॉडी हमारी लड़की के यहाँ लेके आओ, कि यहाँ नहीं, वहीं आपको चलना पड़ेगा.
Meanwhile, the special investigation team is likely to submit its report to the UP Chief Minister on Wednesday.
The UP government has informed the Supreme Court that it does not object to a court-monitored probe and has in fact asked the centre to initiate a CBI inquiry not only into what happened to the Hathras victim but also the UP government's allegation of a political ploy to foment caste violence. As the government is being accused of a cover-up and allegations and counter-allegations fly, India awaits the truth. In New Delhi, this is Anisha Mathur for India Today.
A crucial development expected in the Bombay High Court today as it will decide on the bail plea of actor Rhea Chakrabarti and her brother Shouvik Chakrabarti. Bombay High Court will issue an order on their bail plea that's expected at 11 a.m. Rhea in her bail plea has called NCB actions as a witch hunt, saying that the narcotic agency didn't have any proof against her. The NCBs opposed their bail plea, referring to Rhea and Shouvik, and has sought a further extension of judicial custody, claiming that Rhea was involved in financing illicit drug trafficking. Rhea, who's been lodged in Mumbai's Baikula jail for nearly a month now, was arrested on September 9th by the Narcotics Control Bureau, who had accused her of being an active member of the drug syndicate. Her brother Shouvik was arrested by the NCB on September 4th for financing and procuring drugs. Earlier, a Mumbai Sessions Court had extended Rhea and Shouvik's judicial custody till October 20th. The fight between Sushant Singh Rajput's family and Rhea Chakrabarti is now escalated as Sushant's sisters, that's Priyanka and Meetu Singh, have filed a petition in the Bombay High Court to dismiss FIRs filed against them by Rhea. The case will now be heard on October 13th. On September 7th, Rhea had registered an FIR against the sisters for forgery and giving banned medication to Sushant Singh Rajput, which allegedly were wrongly prescribed. Rhea claimed that the sisters hatched a conspiracy to obtain a fake prescription and gave a dose without any supervision, which may have resulted in a chronic anxiety attack, which ultimately led to Sushant's death. Sushant's sister Priyanka had, remember, obtained a prescription for anti-anxiety medicines for Sushant from Delhi's RML hospital. This was on 8th June, just days before Sushant's death. The sisters argue that no criminality can be attributed to them since the prescription is given by a doctor. They've also called the FIR by Rhea as malicious. And today we are expecting that there will be an announcement by the AIADMK on its chief ministerial candidate for the 2021 Assembly polls. Sources have informed India Today that Chief Minister Edapadi Palaniswamy will be the face of the party. After all, MLAs, ministers and other leaders put their weight behind EPS. Deputy Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam believed he was standing alone after he did not receive the help he expected from BJP. The election work will begin soon after the announcement. The party hopes to continue its rule for another 5 years. This will be the first assembly elections without AIADMK's Jayalalitha and of course Karunanidhi as well. In the 232-seat assembly, AIADMK has 135 seats, DMK has 88 seats, the Congress has 8 seats, while the IUML has 1 seat. Over to continues from Bengal, where a fresh political storm is playing out after a local BJP leader was shot and killed. This happened on Sunday evening. The BJP has alleged that the ruling TMC government is responsible for the incident. A controversy has also erupted after Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar called for a CBI inquiry.
Exclusive CCTV images of the firing on Bengal BJP leader Manish Shukla. Multiple bike-borne attackers accosted and gunned down the BJP leader a few hundred meters from a police station. Shukla sustained bullet injuries in the head, chest and back.
महामहिम से हमने सीबीआई की जांच मांगी है क्योंकि ये हत्या ओपन प्रकाश में हुआ है, ठीक है? बस
मानसिक स्थिति क्या है इस समय जो आपने देखा है, जो कहेंगे तृणमूल कांग्रेस की सरकार है सत्ता में, उस पर क्या कहेंगे आप?
अब हम कुछ कह नहीं सकते कारण कि तृणमूल की सरकार से हमको आशा नहीं है.
The brazen murder on Sunday at around 8:30 p.m. in Bengal's Titagarh sparked unrest in the area, with the BJP calling a bandh and protest, accusing the TMC government of plotting the murder. Shukla had earlier dumped the TMC to join the BJP.
वो तो चाह रहे हैं कि जो हुआ गया वो सब रफा दफा करो. अब पुलिस उसी काम में जुट गई है. इतना बड़ा मर्डर हुआ है, पुलिस प्रशासन के सहयोग से हुआ है. इसमें इसकी भूमिका संदिग्ध है. अब वो रफा दफा करने में जुटी हुई है. उसके सबूतों को मिटाना चाहती है.
But state BJP chief Dilip Ghosh scored a self-goal by comparing the Bengal situation with Mafia Raj in BJP-ruled UP and NDA-ruled Bihar.
দেখুন পশ্চিমবাংলাটা ধীরে ধীরে উত্তরপ্রদেশ বিহারের মতো মাফিয়া রাজের দিকে চলে যাচ্ছে. প্রকাশ্যে দিবালোকে একজন উকিল, সে প্রাক্তন কাউন্সিলর, তাকে যেভাবে থানার সামনে চায়ের দোকানে এসে চেনগান নিয়ে ব্রাশ ফায়ারিং করা হয়েছে, তার গায়ে 12টা গুলি লেগেছে, মাথাতেই 4টে, ওখানেই প্রায় মারা গেছে. যুবক নেতা, ওখানে জননেতা বলা যায়, হাজার হাজার অনুগামিতা, তাকে যেভাবে প্রকাশ্যে মারা হলো, তার মানে পশ্চিমবাংলায় আইন শৃঙ্খলা বলে কিছু আছে বলে আমার সন্দেহ আছে.
The TMC, however, claims that internal squabble in the BJP is responsible for the murder.
যে ঘটনা ঘটুক না কেন, সব ঘটনার পেছনে আপনারা জানেন বিজেপি তারা সবসময় মনে করেন তৃণমূল হচ্ছে তার সঙ্গে, তৃণমূলের নামটা তারা খুঁজে বার করে, এটা সবাই জানে. এটা এনকোয়ারি হচ্ছে, পুলিশ আছে সেখানে, পুলিশ এনকোয়ারি করবে আর নিশ্চয়ই এনকোয়ারিতে সঠিক.
After protests and a rap from the Bengal governor Jagdeep Dhankar, the police made 2 arrests but claimed possibility of personal rivalry behind the murder. The BJP says as many as 115 party workers have been killed in Bengal since 2014. The political bloodletting may echo in next year's assembly polls.
Every time a political murder takes place in the state of West Bengal, the battle escalates between TMC and BJP. On one hand, the allegations have always been that the administration as well as the political party in the state is hand in glove with every political murder. However, the state denies it completely. But amidst all this, it seems to be an escalation of the fight up to 2021. With camera person Tapas Berry and Deepak Devnath in North 24 Parganas, this is Manogya Loiwal in Kolkata for India Today.
The Mumbai Indians have claimed top spot in the IPL table. The defending champions thrashed Rajasthan Royals by 57 runs. Surya Kumar Yadav was the star performer for Mumbai Indians. The right-hander scored his first 50 of the season. Surya Kumar finished with an unbeaten 79 as Mumbai posted 193 for 4. In reply, Rajasthan kept losing wickets and were bowled out for 136. Jos Buttler was the lone warrior for Rajasthan and scored 70. Jasprit Bumrah was the pick of the bowlers for Mumbai with 4 wickets. And MS Dhoni's Chennai will take on Kolkata Knight Riders in match 21 of the IPL. After a hat-trick of losses, Chennai came back in style. The Yellow Army thrashed Kings 11 Punjab by 10 wickets. Shane Watson's return to form is good news for CSK, while Faf du Plessis continued his fine form. Kolkata, on the other hand, lost their last game against Delhi and are still searching for the right batting order. Abu Dhabi will host the tie. Action kick-starts as usual at 7:30 p.m.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.